Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming podcast. Today is the 26th August of 2018. My name is Kralizec and I will be one of your two hosts for the evening. The second host being Tygergamer. Hey Tiger, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm having a bit of a toothache, but it's nothing I can manage. Hoping it will go away so I don't have to go to the dentist. I hate going to the dentist.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah, never ever is. Though when I was small, I actually enjoyed them drilling my teeth. I was weird, I know.
I understand that. I understand that.
I was actually one of those kids who enjoyed like when you went to the doctor and they took your blood. I know. I was really a weird child. I know. And I'm still a weird adult, so. But we are here to talk about video games. So, you want to jump straight into that?
Yeah, we can do that.
So, I'll begin this week with one of game I've been playing. It's called Hybrigun. And it's your typical procedurally generated roguelite, but it's a first-person shooter. I don't think we see that often enough. I have tried a few in the past. The best still to this date is Ziggurat, and that's a first-person shooter even though it's in a fantasy setting, but you're just shooting spells right and left. But Hypergun introduces an interesting mechanic. It has a mechanic where not only the levels are procedurally generated, but also the weapons. And it's one of their huge selling points. And I gotta say, for most part, I have been pretty disappointed by that. By this particular mechanic. The game itself is actually quite fun. It has a decent shooting mechanic. The enemies, well done to a degree. There's a good variety of them. All of that is fine. The problem is the weapon upgrades are boring as hell. You know, when you hear procedurally generated weapons, especially when they market it as one of their key points, what do you imagine?
A game where like each playthrough you get different types of weapons to use in that playthrough.
Yeah, here it's more like, oh, so you found this little add-on to your weapon that adds 5% damage, and the next one adds 10% accuracy, and the next one adds 2% something. It's super boring. There are upgrades that change your gameplay significantly, but they're exceedingly rare. Like, the best one I found so far was one that makes you shoot 3 bullets instead of 1. And that's actually pretty cool. You know, that's a cool mechanic. But when you're really promoting this procedurally generated weapon, you need to do more with it.
Yeah.
And it just makes me sad. If you want like a different weapon type, you actually have to unlock a different class. Your basic starting class has, you know, just like a SMG. I unlocked one so far, and that has a rifle that behaves almost exactly the same as an SMG, but shoots rapidly, few bullets, and you have to click instead of hold your fire button. Then there's a shotgun class and a sniper rifle class. And the sniper rifle class, I gotta say, that sounds like it's gonna be freaking awful, because there are tons and tons of enemies in each level, and this is not a game where, you know, just position yourself to snipe a bunch of enemies. This is more of a just have really good reflexes and shoot everything quickly. The shotgun class might be fun. I'm gonna give that one a try before I make a review of this. But so far, I've been disappointed, and it makes me sad because this game actually had a lot of potential. It plays well. It is fun. It's not expensive, but there's a mechanic that they promote that's just lacking. So Hypergun, if you want to try it out, it's available right now. Right now it's available for 11.24 euros. I'm going to assume that's like $14 or something. This promotion ends on the 30th. So yeah, if you want to try it, it's not bad. It's certainly one of the more fun procedurally generated first-person shooters from the few we have on the market. But it's just lacking. What about you? What have you played this week?
Well, I've only got to play one game, and that is a Shenmue remaster.
Oh.
In all honesty, I did not grow up playing the originals. I didn't have a Dreamcast growing up, so this is my first time playing this game. And the best way I can describe it is a open world exploration game with a little bit of beat 'em up, and some puzzle solving inspired by point and click adventures.
And how does it play? Is it fun?
Oh yeah, I actually been really enjoying it. It's kind of a breath of fresh air for me. You know, like how these days, like in typical open world games, you have all these quests to go do, like just full of stuff to do that doesn't feel as worth doing all of it.
Yeah, it's usually like find 3 eggs.
Yeah. Well, Shenmue was actually one of the first open world games to ever come out. And even though for this being one of the first, the world is not that big, but it does have some stuff to do. Like one of the things I think one of the downsides to Shenmue is it's like in order to continue the story, you have to like wait a day or something, an in-game day, in order to go and do the next mission. And unfortunately, there's no time skip in the first game, so you either have to go and kill time, or just sit down and sit your controller down and just go do something else while you're waiting for the clock to go around.
So you need to time it, so you need to go have lunch when you have such a quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like, some of the old mechanics in games do suck. We have improved over time, and this is a good example of such a mechanic.
Yeah. And also, another cool thing is, like, this being an older game, it doesn't, like, have, like, a map or a waypoint that you have to go. Like, it doesn't tell you, like, go here. Go to this exact location. Instead, when you first start off the game, the sort of the game is you play as a Ryuzaki who comes home one day and finds the strange man in his father's dojo, and he watches as his father gets killed, and then he goes try and find out who murdered his father and why. Okay. And when you first start out, you don't have a map, you don't have like waypoints or whatever, or like quest list. Instead, all you have is a journal, and it just starts out with like a few clues. You need to go and try and find them to continue on with the story.
Yeah, so, I remember those days. Those were the days where I would literally print manuals for games because I didn't have 2 monitors at the same time. Yeah. It's like when I was like 13, 14. I remember playing Might and Magic 8, The Day of the Destroyer. And I would have about 100 pages of text printed out, so I wouldn't get lost in the world, and I knew where stuff is. Because
Yeah.
you had a journal, and that game at least had a map, and you could make notes in the map. But I was too lazy to do that, so I just printed this shit out. And it just told me where to go. And I didn't use it all the time. When it was fairly obvious, it was like, go to that island, kill that guy. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to go to that island and kill that guy. But sometimes it was put more in like a riddle. Like that was especially the case with old school fantasy games.
Yeah.
It was like, under the burning tree on the third day after the sun rises to the west. So that was like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm a 13-year-old kid. I'm dumb. I can literally count to like 1 million, and that's where I end.
Yeah. Now, I will say this though. Even though you don't have your own personal map, throughout the world, just in case you get lost, you can actually find like maps of the area that you're in. So you don't have to worry about getting lost. But for me, like I've played this game for like 8 hours now. I'm 8 hours in, and I got to the point where I know where just about everything is, so I can just go wherever I need to go. Okay. And that's actually a good thing, because you don't have to worry about, okay, this world's too big, I'm gonna get lost. In this game, you don't. It's kind of hard to get lost. For me, it is, but
yeah, that's probably part of like why modern games decide to use these waypoint things, because the worlds have just gotten bigger and bigger to a degree. Yeah. What was the first Elder Scrolls? Hammerfell?
Arena.
No, the one after it then.
Yeah.
Hammerfall. Hammerfell. That game was like, it literally was the size of a regular continent, and it would take you like days, literal days in the real world to travel from one end of the map to the other. So that's like one of the exceptions from the past. But in general, open world games have just gotten bigger.
Yeah.
So
and also, I'm about to finish. I'll finish that figure. But in also another thing, there are like sections of like some beat 'em up sections in the game, but they don't like the only time you get to fight somebody is if it's part of the story or whatever. So it's not like you go around every corner and there's like somebody new to fight. When you fight off against somebody, they make that like a special event.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and also the puzzle solving in the game is kind of reminiscent of point and click. We can like go and interact with any object in the world, and if you need to use a certain object, you put it in the inventory and put it where we need to go. But yeah, Shenmue 1 and 2 Remastered, even though I haven't played 2 yet, if you have yet to play this series, and you want to try something new,
or old,
or old, but for me it's new since I've not played it yet. So, but if you wanna experience these games for the first time, if you have yet to play them, you can get on PS4, Xbox One, and PC for $30. So.
Yeah, I see on PC. On PC, it's $34.99. But that's still a good, decent price, I would say.
Yeah. But yeah. It's a good. It's a game that you might or might not enjoy. It's not for everyone, but hey, it's up to you.
Okay. So let me talk about a second game I played this week. This is called The King's Bird. And this is one of the most beautiful games I've played to date. everything just looks... So, first of all, it's a 2D platformer, but everything looks, I would say, almost ethereal. The game was pretty obviously inspired by, like, Mayan shit, I would say. And I want to say this, it's super fucking hard, at least to play on a keyboard and mouse. It's better on controller, to be honest. I would definitely recommend you play this on a controller 100% of the time. Because when you're playing on keyboard, the controls just feel... I would almost say botched, to be honest. They don't feel like they're particularly reactive. It's hard to control where you're going. You need to switch very often the keys, so that's very hard to do. And on top of this game has like a flying mechanic. And, you know, just having an analog stick whenever you're flying is so much more natural and feels so much more better to actually do. But the main selling point for me personally of this game is just how fucking amazing it looks. Like, seriously. I haven't played much of it because I don't have the patience to get good at it so that I don't die every 27 seconds. But yeah, if you're a fan of hard platformers, you enjoy these sort of graphics, the King's Bird is definitely worth your time. It's currently available for 13.43 euros, 16.97 normally. I'm going to assume that's probably the same price in dollars. But I'm not sure. Maybe it's $20. Who knows? Okay, anything else you played this week?
No. How about you?
Not really. I only got the time to play these two games as we did the show last week, somewhat late, let's call it. That was totally my fault, by the way.
Hey, stuff happens. So.
Yeah, so let's jump into the news. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
And let's start with this week's controversy. More precisely, this week's non-controversy, as I would precisely call it more. And that is the CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 controversial tweet. So this happened during the time of Gamescom, as, you know, they were trying to tease shit out. And one guy tweeted at them, "I want more guys." And they responded with an internet joke, "Did you just assume their gender?" And immediately, a shitstorm was created. There were people saying, accusing CD Projekt Red of transphobia and saying that they were no longer going to buy the game when it comes out. On the other hand, half the other people were saying, well, this was just a dumb joke. At least the team has a sense of humor. It's just...
Yeah, really.
How was this a controversy?
Yeah, really.
Well, is just saying stuff on Twitter these days a big deal? I just don't get it.
People are just too sensitive these days.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
To a degree, I'll have to agree with you there. CD Projekt Red has issued an apology saying, "Sorry to all those offended by one of the responses sent out from our account earlier. Harming anyone was never our intention." Obviously, the apology... Seems her camera has fallen down.
that was me. I kind of turned on the cord.
So, obviously, the apology was deemed to happen because what else would have happened these days? On the other hand, not everybody is really accepting this apology. Some people are calling it fake and still think the studio is transphobic, whatever that means, to be honest. You know what's my biggest problem with this outrage?
What's that?
Wouldn't their tweet suggest that in their game there are actually trans people?
Yeah, really?
Meaning that they literally aren't transphobic because they have included the trans community inside of their game. Because that's what I got out of the response. Like, okay, so you're saying some of the people who look like women are actually guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just baffled by this. Like, completely fucking baffled. And
Yeah, really.
why do we have to live in such a world where people make a controversy about a silly joke on Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm still pretty excited for Cyberpunk 2077.
Me too. Me too.
I still want to see Siri somewhere in there.
Yeah, really. Considering
Oh, she can literally hop dimensions.
I know, and not to mention, I don't know if you remember this, and this kind of minor spoiler if for anyone who hasn't played Wild Hunt, but she actually alludes to her visiting Night City towards the end of the game.
Yeah, and like if you read the books, she visited like a few hundred different dimensions.
Yeah.
Like she literally was in the dimension of King Arthur. She met what was the one from P, the Knight of the Round. Is it? It wasn't Percival. You know which one I mean?
Thanks.
Let me quickly Google this. Knights of the Round Table P. Oh, it was Percival. Yeah, it was Percival. She literally met him and he fell in love with her. He thought she was like the lady of the lake because she was just swimming in the lake, you know, trying to get like a bath.
Wait a second. Coming.
It seems, again, it's this salesman. But yeah, like, Siri literally has the ability just to jump from one dimension to the other. Why couldn't she just, like, be a quick Easter egg in Cyberpunk 2077? It makes totally sense. I really want to see that happen, even though the devs have said that it's not going to happen. I really want to see it happen. It just pisses me off if she's not going to be in there.
Sorry about that. I had to let my sisters into the room.
It's okay. So, I was just saying, it makes me sad because the devs have said she's not going to be in there.
Yeah, I know. That would have been a good opportunity.
Well, it's like
to at least have her as a side quest character.
No, just have her sitting in a bar.
Yeah, or that. Yeah.
Like, she's literally bisexual. Just make her making out with some girl somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, either way, let's move on to the next controversy of this week. This one is literally a controversy, as it has been shown that it is fake, but maybe some of you guys may have heard of this. So there was a story going on from Gamescom this week that one of the person who visiting Gamescom shat in a bag while waiting in line to play Fortnite. So the story goes like this. One of the fans was waiting in line to play the game and to get an exclusive spray for the game. Apparently he had to visit the bathroom, but he didn't want to lose his place in line. So he decided to shit in a bag. Obviously, this kind of story just spread very, very quickly. People were like claiming that somebody had to step into it, some kid had to throw up. The service personnel was so disgusted that they refused to clean it up, etc., etc., etc. You know, it's just weird stuff. Eventually, the senior PR manager from Epic Games, Nick Chester, actually had to come into Twitter and say that the story was fucking fake. Sometimes the gaming world is weird.
Yeah, really.
But it brings up an interesting question. There are very heavy lengths to which gamers are willing to go to get an exclusive items in games. And not only gamers, but like, remember the lines for the new iPhone?
Oh yeah.
Where people like brought a tent and they waited for like 3 days in front of an Apple store? Do you understand doing that? It seems ridiculously dumb behavior to me.
Yeah, really.
I really don't get these people's mentalities. I'm very glad the story turned out to be fake. If it wasn't, I would probably go to Gamescom, find this person, and just chop him to pieces, because we shouldn't be talking about this stuff on gaming news.
Yeah, really.
I literally avoided talking on this on the gaming news series because it was just too dumb. And
yeah.
I know I'm a person who writes about video games. I do still have a shred of journalistic ethics in me. I'm not gonna talk or write a story about somebody pooping into a bag.
Yeah, really.
And as the end of controversies this week, let's go into actual news. So Parmalucky, one of the founders of Oculus Rift, has announced on Twitter again. What's the deal with people on Twitter? That he had... Sorry?
Oh, it's an easy way to reach your community these days. So.
It's just... But it's the stupidest way to reach your community.
Yeah, I know.
And I know I will have to get used to Twitter, as my job as the community manager for Chibera will need to, like, say, next week we'll be bringing this. Yeah. But that's actually a legitimate, like, use for Twitter, I would say. Like, you know, small announcements.
Yeah.
But it's not a place where you announce that you have a solution for fucking VR motion sickness, as that is what he announced via a tweet. More specifically, he wrote, "Universal solution for vestibulo-ocular mismatch in virtual reality," on top of a few other things he thinks will come in the next 5 years. He was somewhat pressed to elaborate on this tweet. He clarified that the solution will be coming later this year as an open source solution, which is fucking amazing. And on top of that, he said it's a combination of a hardware and software solution. So obviously we do not know what the solution is yet, as it's still being worked on. But on top of that, I really like the fact that he's open sourcing this.
Yeah, really.
It's just, I wish more people did this with technologies that have the potential to truly change the world, and VR and AR truly are such technologies. But the one thing that concerns me is the fact that it also includes a hardware solution, not only a software one. Because that could potentially mean that you will need to buy a new generation of VR to actually get rid of motion sickness. I'm still hoping that it's more like a firmware update and then some, you know, changes to how the games work. But it could potentially be done, you know, just by adding a special tool in the glasses themselves. And that might not be achievable with existing hardware. So, what do you think of the story? Do you approve of his open sourcing this?
Heck yeah! If it hey, the best the best way I can look at this is if he's able to have a solution for motion sickness in VR. That might actually get more people to try VR. So
yeah, like from the friend circles I have, like I had about 50 people trying out virtual reality, and I know of at least 5 who have experienced VR motion sickness. That's a fairly significant number. Though I would say the number is probably lower when you introduce bigger numbers. But still, yeah, this is great news. I hope everything works out, and I can't wait to see this happen.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, let's go into some rumor territory as Microsoft may be launching a completely new way to subscribe to the Xbox console, a completely new subscription service that has for the name called Xbox All Access. And not only will this give you the same benefits as both Xbox Live and Game Pass together, you would actually get a real Xbox One S or One X for a 2-year period. And the other information about this is the fact that we assume to know that the One S bundle would cost $22 per month, and the One X would be $35 per month. Apparently, the service should also be US exclusive, and it should be sign-upable through Microsoft Store. So I want to get your opinion on this first.
Yeah. Honestly, me owning an Xbox One S at the moment, I don't see myself. If this is true, I don't see myself subscribing to it this generation. But if they do continue this next gen with the next Xbox, I could see like if I really wanted the next Xbox, I can actually see myself actually subscribing to the All Access subscription.
I in general think this is a good idea, but I don't like one specific thing about it, and that's the fact that it's gonna, at least for the moment, be United States exclusive. My reasoning for that is, I think that is probably the worst market to choose to test the service out. For a very simple reason. In the United States, the average income is around $40,000 per year, if I remember correctly. That leads to about $3,333 per month. So buying a console, let's say its average price is, I don't know, $400, is about, how much is that? About 12% of your monthly income. That's not a small amount, but it's nothing you cannot deal with. Honestly, that should be about the amount you put in like savings every single month, like around 10% of your income. On the other hand, when you go pretty much anywhere else apart from the Western world, the wages drop significantly. And the prices of stuff don't really drop when it comes to consoles. So if the average income in the United States is, let's round it up to $3,000, and you're paying $300 per console, so that's 10% of your income. But in Czech Republic, for example, and that's not even like a very poor country by any comparison, the average wage is around $1,200. But you're paying pretty much the same sum of money for the console. So that's not 1/10 of your monthly income, that's 1/3 of your monthly income.
Yeah.
And having the ability to spread out this expense, especially if you calculate it, and actually for the 1S, it means you're literally paying $2 a month for the console, and over a 2 years period, that's $48. That's something most people here would be very okay with doing. but they will highly consider whether they should buy a console for $300. So I think they should have tested this on a market which would appreciate such a service more than the United States.
Okay.
And that's pretty much my reasoning for why I don't like this being a US exclusive.
Well, if this is true, there is a good guarantee that they will launch this internationally too. So,
well, there's one thing usually when they first launch the service as an exclusive for a region, they do it for a purpose of testing whether there
I know.
is interest in such a service. And I think the United States is not a good testing ground for this service.
Well, actually, I think the U.S. we kind of have like a diverse market. So, like in some regions of the U.S., there might not be a reason for the service, but in other regions, I bet there are people that would really appreciate the service as well. So,
well, the thing is, most countries have like diverse economic statuses and different. Like, if you go to Prague, the average income there is around 1,800 per month. But if you go to like the northwest corner of our country, the average income there is around $600. So I think this economic diversity can be found almost in any country. I think like a good country to test it out would be something like, I don't know, Romania, where the income is like, I think their average income is like $600 per month. It's not like super low, but it's also not high. But apart from that, I actually like the service. I think it has the potential to bring a ton of people into gaming who could not afford it up until this point.
Yeah, and not to mention with Game Pass, if they're going to give access to Game Pass, this will be very affordable. For Xbox
I agree. Though I would agree with you on the point that they probably should have waited with this for the next generation of products.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people nowadays would just be like, yeah, but we heard that a new console will be coming out next year. But you know what this suggests to me? I don't think we will see a new Xbox console next year. Or, there's a second suggestion. It means that they have a lot of unsold Xboxes and they need to get rid of them before the new generation comes out. That's the second option.
Yeah, true.
And we truly do not know which one it is. Okay, and let's move on to the last story for this week. And this one excites me to no end. Paramount Pictures is making a Monument Valley movie. So if you don't know, Monument Valley is a mobile game, actually pretty old for mobile. It comes from 2014. And it's essentially a puzzle game using these Escher-like places that you need to navigate through, get to from one point to the other. And it's going to be created into a film, and the director is going to be Patrick Osborne, who is currently directing the Nimona film adaptation. I don't know what Nimona is, to be honest. Do you know what Nimona is?
No, I do not.
Okay, I opened the link. And okay, it says the genre-bending Nimona follows a shape-shifting teen girl who becomes a sidekick to a supervillain. And it's based on a webcomic created by Noel Stevenson. That actually sounds cool as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, like looking from the point of view of a assistant to a supervillain. Yeah, that should be fun. But back to Monument Valley, I'm super excited about this. And so it seems Osborne is. He set to deadline. Monument Valley is one of a kind experience. At once small in its meditative, simple gameplay, as well as enormous in its sense of history. I'm privileged to be handed the reins of Ida's mysterious kingdom to play in her world of impossible architecture where seeing things differently is everything. And yeah, that's exactly why I'm super excited for this. This movie has so much potential for amazing landscapes.
Yeah.
And if done really properly, this could be one of the best game movies ever for like years to come. On top of that, I really like the fact that while Monument Valley does have a story, I don't think many people have really cared about it while playing it. This, I think, gives the creators of the movie a lot of leeway to actually take the story from one direction to the other and to actually create something that is beautiful. So, will you go see Monument Valley?
Well, for me, I still got to get around to playing the game, so.
Dude, just get it on your phone and play it on the shitter.
I know.
It's not that hard.
I know, but I have not gotten around to it yet. So right now, I think it's cool, but for the most part, right now I'm just kind of indifferent. But hey, I do hopefully the movie does good.
Okay, and that's it for the news this week. Unless you have some news you think I missed.
I sure don't.
Then let's move on to the last section of the show. Let's talk about recommendations for next week. So let me start by a game that's called Jellyfish the Ghost. And this game is coming out on the May 1st in about 3 days. And it's your classical 2D platformer with really interesting looking graphics, as it's all done essentially as a paper drawing. And it looks cute as hell. Like, this is a game I would truly give to like my child, because it looks like something they themselves could draw. It's to be more specific, this looks like something I could draw. And I'm really bad at drawing. Okay, what do you have to recommend?
First, I have a game called Yakuza Kiwami 2. And this is a remake of Yakuza 2, which came out back in 2006. And they remade it for the PS4, so.
Oh. So have you played the original or not?
No, I have not. Actually, I got into Yakuza back in Yakuza 0, so.
Okay, so you're following the storyline like in chronological order.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah.
Okay. When is it coming out?
This Tuesday for $50.
Okay. Second game I would like to recommend is 2 Point Hospital, and this is something I can't wait to get my hands on. This is the spiritual successor to Theme Hospital. Or Theme Park Hospital. I can't remember right now. But I loved that when I was a young kid. It's one of the few tycoon games I could truly enjoy. And this game is just filled with super weird and crazy diseases. Like literally on screen, I'm showing a trailer right now. There's a disease that turns your head into a light bulb. And you can just imagine some of the other illnesses are pretty similar to them after. You have to figure out how to actually treat them before you get to treat them. Yeah, it's coming out on the 30th again, and I'm gonna buy a copy of this. I'm pretty sure I will not be able to get my hands on this, like you know, as a reviewer. I'm too small for that. But I'll be buying a copy of this, and I actually buy a copy of this for my girlfriend. I think she would enjoy this. It's gonna cost €34.99 or $31.49 for the initial week, or if you want to buy it as a pre-purchase. And I truly believe this is one of the games that are fine to pre-purchase, because obviously they filled it with love and hope and craziness.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have anything else to recommend this week?
Yeah, on August 30th, Divinity Original Sin Definitive Edition comes up PS4 and Xbox One for $60. And hey, it's just they're bringing the best, one of the best PC RPGs that came out last year console. So I'm definitely gonna pick this up.
Yeah, this is for the people who like old school shit.
Yeah.
Like Baldur's Gate or Neverwinter Nights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go bonkers on this.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else you would like to recommend? Because I do not have anything else, to be honest.
I don't either.
Then let's slowly bring this show to an end. Let's do shilling. I'll go first this week. You can find me on YouTube at Kralizec Gaming, where I do reviews and little game commentaries. And you can find me on Steam at Kralizec.
You can find me on YouTube as Tygergamer. I do Let's Plays, and you can find me on Steam as Tygergamer as well.
And with that being said, we hope you enjoyed today's show. And if you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on Steam, maybe you want to give us an upvote and follow the blog. Either way, be sure to leave a comment and be sure to tune in tomorrow, because the gaming news series comes back. See you guys later with more gaming content.
Yeah, have a good one.